Good afternoon and welcome to our meeting to kick off the school year. We've been going for school for a couple of weeks and we just want to go over some of our math improvement plan and where we're going next. We are talking about the areas of highest need right now, and that is our math scores. PSSAs have been very low, so we started back in the spring before everyone came in to initiate the new math plan and the new math curriculum. We do need to deal with the ELA, and that will be done this year. The ELA curriculum will be chosen, but those scores are higher, so the highest need was the math scores. We're also going to be talking during one of our PDs about the SAS website and making sure that all your lesson plans are per standards and that they're set up for that, and you're going to get familiarized with that during one of our meetings. You have to get a login, and if you have time during one of your after school or during your prep periods, go on the website because it is very extensive, but it does help us keep track of where we need to be for our curriculum and to make sure that we are teaching per the standards, and it's all set up for that. We're also going to be working on per SAS, the curriculum mapping during one of our in-services this year. That's going to be one of our PDs, getting familiar with both the curriculum mapping and the SAS website, which we have not been doing up until this point. We're also going to be working on some meetings, particularly after school. We'll have about an hour meeting at least once a month for our integrated studies and vertical alignment meetings, which we also haven't been doing, but we want to try to get everyone on board to get science connected with ELA, connected to writing. So we have, during social studies, if they have to write, we want them writing up to the same standards that they are during our writing classes and our writing teachers. So we want everybody to get together and find out where we can integrate both our studies in so they kind of overlap and connect. And that's where our vertical alignment meetings will come in for everyone. We're also going to have more collaborative meetings, which we have, but not as consistently as we have wanted to, for grade levels and also subject areas. We want 6th, 7th, 8th grade all to work together for ELA, for writing, science, and social studies, getting together to make sure that there's no gaps in our learning and that we also are not overlapping and teaching the same thing over the couple years, which has been happening slightly over the last couple years. So we want to improve on that, and that should also help our scores improve. New curriculum, as I said before, is going to be for ELA this coming year, but we have not introduced or rolled that out. So if anybody wants to help with that, that would be great. After I'm done talking, if anybody wants to be part of the ELA curriculum choosing, especially if you're an ELA or writing teacher, that would be highly appreciated. Ed reports, we're also going to be using that for our ELA curriculum to choose it as we did for our science new curriculum and our math, which is what we are focusing on today during this meeting. This is going to be very brief, so keep up. I do have the paperwork for you to take back. The slides that I'm showing you, everyone has in front of them in case you can't see as well as I can, because I know I can't see from far away or close up anymore. So what we're going to be going through very quickly is our percentage of enrollment. You don't really need to look at that too closely, but just briefly go through it because these are things that we have we have looked at in order to figure out where the greatest need has been. This is concerning that our kids are, I'm going to get on the same page as you. Our kids are below basic at 75% up here, if you can see it, and 20% are basic. We only have 4% that are proficient and 1% that is advanced in math. So that was very, very concerning. So we need to definitely address that, and that's where we want to see these scores improve. Our goals are not crazy high, but we would like to, you can come down here, keep up. We're going to go down here to the achievement goals for the PSSAs and AIMSweb. Is everybody with me? Good. Achievement goals. We have the PSSA goals are only about 15%. By the end of the 25-26 school year coming up, we need them 15% or more will be proficient or advanced. So that's kind of a lofty goal, but it's not achievable. It's very achievable. And then we have our 26-27, which will be 20%. It's another 5%. And then we also have, by the end of the school year, 27-28, 25% or more of our students will be proficient or advanced on the PSSAs. We're really hoping that the new math curriculum and the teachers being trained properly and going to a bunch of PDs for that they will be able to teach it with fidelity. AIMSweb is our testing that we do 3 times per year, as everyone is pretty much familiar with. That is going to be 50% of the students by the end of this year will achieve the school-wide target of ranking at or above the 30% national percentile by the spring of 2025. If you go back into the scores that everyone has access to, you can see the kids are actually pretty close. They're doing much better on AIMSweb than they are the PSSAs, as a lot of you have seen because we've talked about it. We're going to go up to 50 to 55 to 60 by the spring of 2027. So that's our goals to, increase scores. Now, if you stay with me, and hopefully it will pop right up. Hopefully everyone can see that. Flipping gears. So I'm not going to go through this one by one because everyone has the paperwork and we're already past the springtime goals because it is the beginning of the school year. So these are all the things that have happened before any of the new teachers that are here, or if you're not teaching math, you probably weren't involved in many of those. But we are addressing tiers 2 and 3 for math support for some of the kids that need a little bit of extra help. So the additional licenses took a little bit longer. Our MTSS math teachers are taking care of that. This all happened back in the spring. We also have quarterly data meetings to review student progress in just intervention groups. That's going to be done by quarterly. Parent communication, we're going to be trying much harder to be working on that to let the parents know AIMSweb Plus, Number Worlds, and Study Island, the results on there, because we do have that, and we do also need to work on Study Island and having at least a day every couple of weeks that the kids are working on that, because that does prepare them with the scores. It does correlate highly with the PSSA scores. That will be 3 times a year, so that's an in-progress thing. But all the rest of this is spring 2025, summer 2025. This has all happened before everybody came in. Planning extra PDs for the 2025-26 school year. You will see that coming up, so everybody's a little bit more prepared. Still, also, we are in the summer of 2025. Back to school, we're going to revisit areas of focus for math and plan math for the next year, which is basically just revisiting everything. These are where it starts out where we are right now. We are fall of 2025. We are going to be looking at other schools to see who is part of, let me rephrase that, sorry about that. Use PVAS to identify schools that exceed the growth standards. So we want to see which schools are doing really well and find out what their approaches are, at least for those higher ranking schools. We want to find out if we call them, if they will offer us some support and give us some suggestions on what they're doing that works. So that's something very new. We haven't done that. We want to work on that in the next couple weeks. The building principal will be doing that, and our director of services for the kids in the tier 2 and tier 3. The next thing we're going to be doing is homework help resources for parents and caregivers. This will be our math club teacher. It will most likely be online, and we will get everyone trained. So if somebody does email you, where they can do extra practice for their math skills if they are slipping a little bit. MathFacts Pro has been working this year, although the kids have been getting a little bit bored of that. So we'd really like to find out research a little bit more other than the MathFacts Pros, because the kids aren't really diving into it. They're not really buying in. So we really need to work on that also. We're going to be developing more math vocabulary and higher expectations for these kids. So also the building principal and the supports. So this really is going to be available for everybody, but IU support is the biggest focus there. So, PD, follow up on PD on math areas of focus. So you're going to see during one of our days, the kids' days off, where we're in here for in-services, you're going to see way more math focus so we can get everybody on board so they can support the kids. Also, another fun thing that we're hoping to get in here in November, that's pretty soon from now, we're going to plan a math night for parents and caregivers where they have homework help, STEM activities, games. Teachers will be paid for it, so don't worry, we're around. Staff interest, we want to keep up. We want to keep it exciting for the kids, so you need to show excitement even if you're not into it. Food, drinks, and planning time for activities. So if anybody is interested in helping out for that, let me know at the end when I open it up for questions. flyers for interest. We could probably have the kids from Student Council go on Canva and they can make some flyers for us. Just a suggestion, but we can discuss that. Quarterly data meetings to review student progress and adjust intervention groups. We always want to keep every quarter, we want to make sure that if we're missing some kids or there's some gaps, since it is a new program, we want to keep up on that. All right, moving to the second to last page, where we have more of our parent communication. Hopefully everybody's with me. Deep breath. Almost through this. Parent communication on student performance utilizing Aimsweb plus Number Worlds and Study Island. I've been using Study Island for the last few years, and it really makes a difference in scores. We are going to evaluate the data from that 3 times per year. Create opportunities throughout the year for math teachers to observe each other during the school day. We'll get a substitute for you. You can go in, you can check out somebody else's way of teaching, and maybe you'll pick up some things along the way, which is a really good way to do this. Revisit progress at data meetings and collaborative team meetings throughout the year. Grade level meetings between 5th and 6th, which I had already touched base with, 6th and 7th and 7th to 8th. We want to have that vertical alignment going on. That's something very new. We haven't done that. We've kind of touched base on it, but not really. 5th is met, 6th is met, but we really haven't overlapped. So we really want to really work on that from now till May and June of 2026. The building principal is in charge, but it's more the responsibility of the teachers to make sure everybody is involved, and you really put some effort into that because we all need to have a buy-in in that. At the end of our school year, we're kind of coming to the end here. At the end of our school year, we're going to have a review, another vertical alignment meeting. We want to review the math curriculum. We want to see how our pacing went. We want to see how the scope and sequence, alignment to standards. This is going to be May and June, so the PSSAs will be over. So we'll be able to put that data in there. Did the new curriculum work? Has our scores raised? We're going to be able to find that out around June of 2026. Going forward, sorry about that. Going forward, right here, if you're following along or if you're on your paper, evaluate impact of prior year's strategies on math performance. We want teacher input. We want to hear from the kids. Classroom observations. We want to have teachers observing each other. We want to have the building leaders in there observing. This is a big deal. We've spent a lot of money on this program, this curriculum. We want to see if it is being taught with fidelity and is it working? Do we need to reevaluate? Do we need to change some things? We always want to observe and we always want to make changes as needed. So we're going to use the PSSA and the Aimsweb testing, which is a pretty accurate way of being able to tell about that. We'll review our PSSAs next summer, MathPaks Pro, Study Island, and Number Worlds data. We'll conduct a gap analysis. This will not be for any of the teachers, but just so you know what's going on behind the scenes, just in case you have any questions or have any input. We always want to hear from the teachers. We're going to complete the fidelity inventory and for professional development to align needs identified on the gap analysis even more. So we'll have even more PD next year. Are there any questions? As I know I spoke very quickly there. Okay. Compensation. Yes, you will be compensated not so much for PD time because that is part of your contract or the 2 to 3 p.m. meetings after school. But if you do go for extra trainings outside of school, if you stay over, we pay for the hotel. We'll also give you a stipend to go out for dinner. So if you do go for an overnight meeting, then we'll be able to take care of that for you. Now, math teachers, we are going to talk about compensation for you guys because you are going to have to do more training. There's probably going to be extra planning. We'll figure that out on a one-on-one basis with you guys. But everybody else, if you do want to get ready for the ELA curriculum, then let us know and we can definitely compensate you for some of your time. Any other questions? All right, yes. Training on homework help for parents. We also need to train the teachers for homework help. But yeah, we're going to be making sure we do have our parent teacher organization, our PTO. Then we will plan a training on homework help for them. Also, after school, we're going to make it available just like we do for the kids from 2 to 3. We allow them, we have time for math help. We're also going to allow parents to come in for the math help, and the teachers that are doing that will be compensated for that. Any other questions? All right. Well, we're going to wrap up. Like I promised you, 15 minutes or under, and I think we're right at that time. Thanks for your questions. Come see me if there's anything else. The paperwork is confusing to you. If you need extra copies, let me know. Thank you for coming, and we will see you tomorrow.